All right. Another tough football game with the University of Minnesota. First, I'd like to say congratulations to them and their coaches and their players. They played extremely well. They protected the ball. They did a great job on third down, and even a few times that we were able to gain some momentum, they were able to answer every time, either offensively or answer defensively with a stop. And told our guys proud of the way they fought. It's what I asked for. Keep fighting and give us a chance to be in the game in the fourth quarter, which we were. But at the end of the day, they made more plays. Made more plays on third down, executed a little bit better. But I believe we're close to becoming a pretty good football team. The improvement from week 1 to week 4 is what you look for in a coach. I believe we're getting better. You'd like to get better and have a reward with a victory on the road against a Big Ten opponent, but that's life sometimes. Like I told the guys, sometimes you don't get what you want. You got to answer. You're gonna quit or go back to work, and I expect us to go back to work. We got a first conference game against a big rival, Wyoming, and we'll be ready to play next Saturday at Hughes at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you ask for them to fight and play hard for each other and sell out. And I tell them all the time. My wife doesn't know a lot about football, but she can tell if we're playing hard and playing for each other. And I believe those guys did that. But at the end of the day, I told them when you get on the plane and you turn on your iPad or you look at it tomorrow, you're going to be sick to your stomach because of some missed opportunities. And there's a handful in every game. You don't know when they're going to come, and we had a handful of them today. Ability to make plays on the ball in the air, we didn't do a couple times. Ability to knock defenders back defensively, we didn't do. The ability to progress, throwing the ball and go to the open guy. Ability to convert on third downs offensively, hit our open targets, make field goals. I mean, they're all there. Okay, but that's football. Everything doesn't go according to plan in a game. You got to line back up. You got to keep playing, and we did that. And we just weren't able to finish there at the end of the game when we had the opportunity. I see improvement, Kelly. Like I talked about, what you look for in a coach is improvement. There's been improvement from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3, week 3 to week 4. Are we even close to where I want to be as a football team? No. But we got the one ingredient that you look for in a football coach is they keep coming back, keep working, keep fighting. We got to make more plays. We got to find ways to get the ball to the playmakers more often offensively. We got to get where our playmakers understand everything we're doing offensively. Defensively, we got to figure out how to get a stop on third down. We're playing pretty good on first and second down. I believe they're 5 of 8 on third downs in the first half. We got to get off the field when we got an opportunity on third and long, and those are things that you got to continue to coach. You got to continue to challenge guys to, win their one-on-one battles and just keep coaching.
What adjustments did you make to get Colin better protection in the second half?
Well, Minnesota, for as long as coach has been there as the coordinator and as a head coach, I've been a 4-down front team. A little bit of 3 down on third down. They come out to start the game, and they're in 3 down. They're in an odd front and bringing pressure, and we had not practiced really one snap on first or second downs against 3 down. Now, we go against a 3 down every day, but I thought that had us a little bit confused at first. I thought the speed of their players had us a little bit taken aback. We hadn't played speed like that since the first game. And, Colin hadn't played any speed like that. He played against, a couple series against UTSA and the whole game against UNC, and the game was moving fast for him. And it was something that we hadn't practiced for a freshman. I thought we settled down and we were able to make some adjustments offensively. Our one-scoring drive in the first half, they went back to their 4-down front when we ran it down the field, and then they quickly got out of it and went back to their 3-down front. I thought he settled down and showed more poise in the pocket. There's going to be some things that we miss, but you never hit every pass. He's going to be a little bit sick to his stomach when he watches the film of some guys that he had, but I believe he kept us in the game with the ability to push the ball downfield, which we got to continue to do. We got to continue to improve in the passing game, and I believe he'll only get better. This will only help him having experience, played a game versus a team with this kind of size and speed.
Do you think Minnesota could consistently play that 3 down
Run the ball off and on.
Well, I think they do it. They were able to mix both, which causes a problem defensively. A lot of times if a team's a 4-down front, they might have a 3-down package on 3rd down, but not necessarily mix them on 1st and 2nd down. I think what they were able to do on 1st and 2nd down and mix the 4-down and the 3-down will cause confusion for an offensive line. 3-down teams, that you kind of know they're odd or they'll go to an underfront. So the adjustment for us was took us a little bit a while, but the strength of their team to me is their front four and their linebackers, and they have a lot of athletic linebackers that can run. 96 is that shade or nose. He is about unblockable. He's about 5'9", but he's one of the best players that we played against the last 2 years. He's wreaked havoc on us both years, and he did again today. And then, they'll continue to grow up in the secondary. Number 5 is a really good player for them. They ended up moving him from the field and matching him one-on-one with Gallup, the whole game, our number 4. So they know how to do what they do. They're a physical football team. They're going to run the ball on offense. They got some play action. They got weapons, and they're going to play good defense. So I see them being able to be competitive this year.
Did you learn anything about Colin Hill's toughness, considering he was basically decapitated on him?
Yeah, he's a tough kid. There was never a look in his eye that he was scared of what was going on, of all the pressure, or in the pocket. The look in his eye was a little bit of disappointment that he missed some throws or didn't progress properly. And, the message to him the whole game was you got to keep playing. You got to let it go. You got to play the next play. But I did not see a quarterback that had the deer in the headlights look like, what do I do? It was more disappointment in himself for not making some plays.
Isn't that something you really just don't know until he takes a game like this where he takes hits like that?
He took a shot today. He took a really, really physical shot, but he didn't flinch. He jumped up, got his helmet, and I know we had some runs with Fatone today, but Colin had some nice runs too on quarterback design runs and scrambles, which were big plays for us. He's a tough kid. He's an athletic kid for a taller guy. This will be a great teaching tool for him and everybody. A lot of times you look at the quarterback, but we got to do a better job of understanding what we're doing, route running, protecting him, and doing different things as a play caller to have some, easy throws. It seemed like everything was hard for us today, but they're a good defense. Things are going to be hard. We knew that coming in.
On the other side of the ball, what was Minnesota doing with its rushing attack that made them successful?
Well, in the first half, it was the quarterback runs with the tight end off out of the 11 personnel, where they give the look of a zone read and he's a cutter, and the quarterback was reading the end and the overhang, and we were not doing a good job of fitting it properly. He's a big man, and he's not a speed guy, but he's nifty. He was able to make some guys miss in space. We were going to stop the power and the inside run, and they did a nice job of scheming us up on those runs. Now, that had been a big red zone thing for them to run in the red zone. They did it more out in the middle of the field. Thought we made some nice adjustments to stop the quarterback run. And then we just didn't hold up well enough on the one-back powers and the power game that they did in the zones. I thought we were there. I thought we had some good calls where guys were there to make tackles, and you got to give their backs credit. They ran through tackles. They ran through arm tackles. They consistently moved the pile for a 2-yard gain to a 4-yard gain, 3-yard gain to a 6-yard gain. We got to do a better job of not trying to tackle with our hands, but tackle with our feet. Get in position to make plays, and we got times to make tackles and we didn't. And their backs won the one-on-one battles.
Just having 3 running backs, tailbacks that they were able to rotate in throughout the game, does that help them in the second half?
No question. I thought getting back 23 Brooks was huge for them. You see, he runs with a passion and is very physical and run behind his pads. Number 1 did a nice job today, too. I don't know how much Kobe played. I saw him a little bit, but I thought 23's physical presence in the game kind of wore us down a little bit defensively.
Mike, did you like the way the 2 quarterback system worked in offense, and why did you go after
Say it again.
Do you like the way the offense moved the ball using 2 quarterbacks, and why did you decide to use Fatone for that?
Well, it's hard to defend. I mean, you look at number 7 today for them. It's an extra. You take the extra hat out of the box, and it was able to. It's a way to us to kind of incorporate Dietrich Clark as a running back for us, who's got a lot of skill sets. And it gives them something to practice. We did a nice job. I think we misread one of them, but those were positive plays except for that one on the first down after the punt. But we were able to overcome it on the next play with a drag route to Danny. I think every one of them was positive except for one right there when I thought we should have handed off the speed instead of pulling it for the power. But it's just a change up. It makes guys play something else. And that's what you want to do offensively, be multiple. But, again, at the same time, we do have a threat of Colin ran 2 or 3 of them today, which were big plays.
I was going to say Colin can run it. Do you use Fatone to kind of take some of
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for a guy to run. Colin doesn't look like number 7. I can't pronounce his last name, Leidner. He looks like he's 250 out there. But he did take that shot on that sack and fumble, so maybe he's tougher than I think. But it's something. It's a change up for us, and it's a change up for Colin to do it. We'll still incorporate some of that. It's just a special package for us to be able to get Dietrich in the game, Fatone in the game, some threats with the ball. And then the thing about that, it's not your normal Wildcat. You have a guy that can actually throw the ball downfield. Yeah, he did in the first half. We did a nice job on some of the zone leads there out of our slot, our twins package, fitting up on guys. We still got to do a better job of running through our arm tackles. I think we're running a little bit high and a little bit timid, but I think he was getting back. He's getting closer. Got a little banged up in the first half. Marvin, I thought, ran the ball well. When he got a crease. The thing about Marvin, sometimes he's a little bit impatient on his runs and tries to bounce them too quick. I got to look at the film, but he's an explosive player for us. I think Dawkins did a nice job. Dawkins when they were hitting Dawkins, he was going down there in that game. They're a big physical team, and the other 2 backs were able to actually break a few more tackles, which it comes down to. The first half we're getting to their safeties a few times, and their safeties were stopping us in our tracks, which are, you got to give them credit. You're tackling backs in the open field, and they're hitting them and knocking them down in their spots.
In the end, you look at this, you made improvement and you're happy with that, but you also walk away thinking you missed an opportunity.
Well, you want to win every week. You work your tail off, and your kids prepare. I thought the plan was good. I thought we prepared to win. I thought we came up here expecting to win. We just didn't get it done. And as a coach, you've got to correct the things that we didn't execute well, that we worked all week, which there were some busts offensively and defensively, that we got to look at, we got to correct, and you got to hold people accountable. But at the same time, you got to point out the positives of continuing to fight, and we got a lot to play for as a football team. And I'm proud we fought. I'm disappointed we lost. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, we're where we want to be, because we're not. We want to be 4-0, right? But we're 2-2. The next opportunity we got is against Wyoming, and we need to try to be 3-2.
Like this is the second week in a row, first-year guys have been all your big plays.
Yes.
Coming from first-year guys. Is that just a matter of where the program is right now, and you've got Marvin Kinsey, Dietrich Clark running for touchdown, Colin Hill throwing to Michael Gallup for the other?
Mm-hmm.
Is that partly why maybe some of the execution isn't where it needs to be?
Yeah, we're
relying so much in key spots on those first-year guys?
We lost some difference makers on this football team. I believe we recruited some difference makers who are not there totally yet of what we're trying to do, but they have the ability to make plays. We got to do a better job as a coaching staff to trim the package down if we got to, where we can have them on the field a little bit more. But that's I've been saying all along, we need to recruit explosive players with speed here. Felt like we need to get faster. We're going to continue to recruit guys like that are going to come in, and I believe that can be difference makers.
You play Minnesota really close 2 years in a row. Where do you think Minnesota would do, or how would they do in your league?
I don't know. They're not. It's all relative. They went to a bowl game last year. Were competitive in their league. I know they had a stretch where they lost some games, but they were in, every game. I don't know the answer to that. I think they'll be competitive this year because they have a senior quarterback that's a 3-year captain that doesn't make mistakes and makes plays for them. And that's, they got experience. And, anybody that's named captain 3 years in a row tells you that he's got his trust of his coaches and his teammates. And as a physical football team, you can tell they practice and they play physical, and that's the brand of football they want to play, and those kids respond to that.
How much different is this team of yours from week one to where you?
It's light years ahead of where we were week one. We were a deer in headlights week one. We had a lot of guys out there playing that hadn't played a lot of scrimmage downs and played like it, played timid. I thought today we let go more. We went out there and tried to make some plays instead of hoping to make plays. That's where we got to get. We got to get where we expect to make the play. Whatever it is, whether you're the protection, whether you're the back getting the ball, where the ball's coming to you, or it's third down and they're throwing the ball, we got to be more aggressive in attack and try to make plays and expect and not hoping for guys to make plays. And that's why, to me, you see Deidre Clark, Kinsey, Gallup, them guys are going to try to make plays. And we got to get more guys that are trying to make plays. And to me, like I told the guys at halftime, making a play is doing your job and expecting to do it well every snap, not hoping for somebody else to make it. You go be the difference by just doing your job, what your coaches do, and trust your instincts. And that comes with time. All right? It's not an excuse, but that comes with time, with experience, or by recruiting.
Mike, can you tell us what happened on that illegal substitution penalty right at the end?
We just made a mistake on the punt return team. Looked at the sheet wrong, and it was not Justin Fall's fault. We sent him in there. We just sent him in there. We made a mistake as a coaching staff, and that's on me. There's only 12 seconds to go, but you still got a chance. You never know what's going to happen, and you can't have a penalty like that in crunch time. It was not the kid's fault. It was our fault. It's coaches. All right, guys. Thank you.